remarkable thing. I get to meet a lot of my heroes from when I was young, and just spend a wonderful weekend with a lot of wonderful people who are so interesting and have such fascinating lives. And they're doctors and lawyers and guy who works at Starbucks, and just the complete spectrum of society is where these people come from, and they're from all over the world, and they're just as passionate about it as we are. And I think it's wonderful that I'm very fortunate to be able to get to go and talk about it and give spoilers. And I think I've mentioned about 18 different people as the final Cylon. So every country I go to, I name somebody else. So they're all fighting online. But yeah, it's great. And it'll just sort of go into perpetuity, I'm sure. That just keeps going and going and going. But it's a wonderful experience, it is.
Aside from a show being of extremely serious nature, I hear that Michael Hogan is quite the funny character.
Who?
Michael Hogan?
Yeah, he should be sitting here. That's how funny he is. Joke's on us.
You'll know Michael Hogan is in the studio when you hear, like, deep behind a wall or somebody doing vocal exercises. And then Hogan walks out. Okay, I'm ready to go. All right. Now, of anybody who is the most unlike their character, I would say Michael Hogan is. Yeah, he is. My opinion, he's like the best actor on the show. The man is absolutely outstanding. No offense, guys. But
just very modest of yourself to include yourself in that.
Wow.
Because I thought it was you.
Aw. Brother's got a hug. No, Michael Hogan is, and he's kind of goofy and he's really funny. He's a wonderful human being.
As I talk to actors about what they watch on television, this show is one that's named pretty consistently. And I was talking to an actor on another show in Vancouver. He's like, yeah, Battlestar, they're the cool kids. We all wish we were on Battlestar. Do you feel that appreciation from your peers, from other people in the business? Because this show is really, I think, heavily watched within the industry itself.
Absolutely, we're the coolest. No question about it. Actually, speaking of another actor, Ed Quinn, we met him last year. He's one of the leads in Eureka. Yeah, he's awesome. He's a really nice guy, too. But I remember the first time we met him, he came to town and somehow tracked down our phone numbers. He knew that I was a big MMA fan. Invited me. I think Douglas got invited. He didn't show up. He was busy. I think he was at a convention. Yeah, he was at a convention. But literally, Ed Quinn tracked us down. And it was so funny because this guy, we didn't even know who he was. He's like, look, I'm in town. I'm working on a show. I heard about you guys. Maybe you'd like to come over and watch some fights. Made us dinner, and the guy could not shut up about the show for about 50 minutes. It was awesome. I was blown away. I was like, so you're on a show too? He's like, oh, forget about that. Yeah, we'll talk about that after. So listen, what do you think's going to happen in the third season?
Yeah, I mean, I just recently moved down to LA, so I got involved in a whole new bunch of conversations with people down there who work in the industry, and I'm blown away by how many people on really influential positions are just completely in love with the show. Yeah, we do realize how lucky we are to be, the cool kids and the cool show, because, we're playing grown-up characters in grown-up situations with big stories, and that doesn't happen too often in TV. I did a couple of guest roles recently in LA on sort of more procedural type shows, and I have to say I don't envy, that may be our fate after this, for the rest of our careers to summarily sort of find guilty parties each week and send them off to the penitentiary. But there is something slightly repetitive, overly repetitive about, working on that kind of episodic television, and it's very rare to have such a successful, real epic to get your teeth into, and to constantly have to, be responsible for these characters week in, week out as they go through, monumental changes. We're very lucky, and I think we all know that.
Yeah, and speaking of fans in the industry, it's not just people who are on other television shows. I was in Los Angeles, and I'll never forget this day, January 10th of this year. My manager has an office on Santa Monica and Wilshire, and I was walking through Beverly Hills back up to my hotel, and I see this guy walking towards me, and, speak of the devil, there he is.
Michael Hogan, everybody.
And it was Mike Hogan.
Michael Hogan.
Mike Hogan, ladies and gentlemen. Hey. And this guy's walking towards me. He's about 15 feet away, and normally I don't get starstruck, but this person was a big, important part of my life when I was growing up. He's about 15 feet away, and I'm looking at him, I'm going, who the hell is that? Oh, my God, it's Robin Williams. Oh, that's so cool. And he just walked by, nodded, and kept on going. And I kept walking. I pulled out my phone and started texting my friends, because in Vancouver it was below zero and there was a foot of snow. It was 85 in LA. So I'm texting my friends, screw you guys, it's 85, it's sunny, Robin Williams just walked by me, look happy, have fun with the snow in Vancouver. I keep on walking. About a block and a half later, I'm in the middle of the intersection walking against a red light, and there's this tug on my shoulder. Excuse me, are you on Battlestar Galactica? And I'm like, yeah, oh my God, you're Robin Williams. And I went, yeah, I am. And he goes, grabs me by the arm, and he takes me over to the sidewalk, and he punks me on the sidewalk, and I'm standing there, and he goes, that's the best show on TV. I cannot believe it. I don't miss it. You tell Eddie, I've known Eddie for years, you'd go up there and you tell everybody, that's my favorite show, it's the best show on TV. What are you shooting? Why are you here? How come you're not shooting? Is the chief dead? And he just went, I'm staring at this guy going, oh my God, this is Rob Williams. And all these people are walking by going, holy crap, that's Rob Williams. Who the hell is that guy? And why does Robin keep shaking his hand? So he talked to me for like 5 minutes and kept shaking my hand and shaking my hand. And I went, at one point I went, I have to tell you, you're one of my biggest, no, we're talking about Battlestar Galactica. Okay, all right. So we talked for like 5 minutes, and then he was there for the Golden Globes, apparently. And he walks away, and I'm just like, doy. So I walked to the curb, and I looked for the bus and said, God, send the bus, you know. But yeah, the weirdest people come out of the woodwork to talk about this show. And Robin Williams turned around and chased me down.
Yeah, and I had the Wachowski brothers bow in silence. I met them on the Warner Brothers lot, and turned around, and this, what's the politically correct word for? He's
a fat guy?
No, he's going through a gender change, and I so double took. Yeah, and he just bowed and put his hands together, and you know, those guys rule in terms of sci-fi, and yet here they are, sort of worshiping our show. So it's pretty humbling.
Grace has a good one.
Who?
At the Asian Film Awards.
Who is it?
That you did. Guy named
Oh, yeah.
Quentin
Tarantino. I forgot all about that. I think before when you get in, I hosted an award show called the Asian Excellence Awards with Daniel Day Kim, and my manager had mentioned that Quentin had wanted to meet me, and so I was pretty excited to meet him. But while we were hosting the show, I did see him, and I had met him somewhere before, but I'm sure he didn't remember who I was. So I just pretended I didn't know who he was, and he just pretended he didn't know who I was. And then, but later in the after party, he would just, you know, he wouldn't stop gabbing about it. Like I felt like I had to babysit him. He was so excited, and he just went off for about 10 minutes, and I finally just got so uncomfortable that I just had to leave. But then I went online, and apparently before the award show, they're always asking people, is there someone you're excited to meet? And pretty much everyone says, these are a bunch of my friends, so it's fine. And he goes, well, I'd like to meet Grace Park. And I think I have to download that and just like burn it, save it for my grandchildren. Yeah.
I went to an after Grammy party months ago. I was sitting in line, this horrible lineup. We weren't getting anywhere. And I saw Seth Green basically bump by me with his entourage, like nudged me out of the way. Seth's all of this big, right? But I've always been a fan of his work, right? And then he kind of stopped and he gave me this look. Like literally just looked like Seth was picking a fight with me, which was really kind of funny, right? Looked up at me and he kind of gave me this weird look, and I looked down at him like, what are you looking at, Seth? What's going on, buddy? That was it. Kept on walking. He got in the party. Of course, I had to wait another 45 minutes. And then I think it was a month and a half later, we got called for Robot Chicken, Michael. Oh, yeah? Yeah, it was great. It's kind of funny. So I guess Seth didn't want to fight.
You got to tell your giant eclipse story that always happens to you whenever you're walking down to LA, and there's always like some 8'7", yeah.
I don't know what it is about big guys, but I've had this happen to me twice now. Last time I was in LA, where was I? I was at the Grove with Michael Trucco, and we just finished some lunch. This is funny. Yeah, it's got to be a big guy thing. Anyway, Mike's on the phone, and we watched this big guy walk by us, and literally the man had a back like, he must have been 300 pounds. I was like, Jesus Christ, look at the size of that guy. Walks by, and he kind of looks back at me, and I'm wearing glasses.